Our next trailblazer is the only Filipino on Magic Mike the movie, and he's making moves on stage at Magic Mike Live in Las Vegas. So let's give it up for Patrick Packing! Woo!
Hey guys.
Patrick, I wanted to introduce you to Dr. Audrey.
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Good. How are you?
Dr. Audrey, so this is Patrick. I mean, he is making moves on stage as like the first Filipino here. So tell us about that.
Where do I start? From the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when they first started the show, they didn't have an Asian person, but they were looking for one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I spent about like a year and a half auditioning for this show. And at that time, no one really knew what it was going to be like. You know what I mean? Everyone thought it was going to be something like Chippendales, which those are great shows, but it was kind of like this new venture.
Yeah.
And so they wanted it to be very diverse. But when I was auditioning, like, man, I think like 6-7 auditions.
Wow.
Yeah, trying to get this, and then I kind of gave up at one point.
Yeah.
And then they opened up the show, and obviously I wasn't there. I didn't get a call, and it was just like, okay, well, no Asians on the show. I was like, okay. And then like 8 months later, I was in the Philippines, and I got a call from my agent. They're like, "Can you move to Vegas?" And
Wow.
in 2 weeks. And I was like, why? She's like, they want you on board. I was like,
amazing.
it was my birthday too.
Yeah.
Yeah, on my birthday. And then I flew back, I packed up my stuff, and I moved to Vegas.
Yeah. I was researching it. It said like you only had days to rehearse the routine, like 4 days.
Yeah, basically, I think I signed my contract and I started December 13th. Mm-hmm. Went to rehearsals that week. I can retain choreo like really, like I learned the whole show in like 4 days.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Yeah, we were like going. It wasn't a lot of rehearsals, but I retained it very well, and it was
Yeah.
And I was on the next week.
Wow.
So.
And then, so you worked with like Salma Hayek and Channing Tatum. You even gave Salma Hayek like a lap dance while Channing was watching.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Something you can't write, but that was a really unforgettable experience. Like, we filmed in London for 2 months. We all, like, a few of the OGs in this show got sent over there, and then we have a London show, and they took some of the guys from there. So we were kind of like Magic Mike Avengers. Mm-hmm. they like compiled this like all-star group and sent us to London to film, and then we did that scene, and I remember our choreographer Allison. She's like, "All right, this is the scene where you guys are gonna take turns. You're gonna freestyle. You're gonna lap dance Salma." And then all of us were like, "We're gonna do what?" All right, let's go. And I remember the day we were filming, all of us were nervous.
Yeah.
It was just like a one shot, like no redos, and it was like, do your thing and then go lap dance. Right?
Yeah.
And Chan was there, and if you've seen the movie, you know which film.
Yeah. So. Were you nervous, or were you?
Yeah, because it was a one go. Like, were rehearsing it, and like each guy who was doing that scene had to do their thing, and that's it.
Yeah.
It was a one and done, and it was fun.
Wow.
Yeah, imagine a one and done, and you had to lap dance Salma.
Yeah.
It was unforgettable.
I mean, that's one of the blockbuster movies like ever, and it's so nice to have you representing the Philippines, right?
Yeah, because when I was in rehearsal, I realized I was the only Asian there.
Yeah.
And it was cool. I'm so used to that on other jobs before. It was like the only Asian. And then when we went on set and we would film, I realized again, I was like, okay, I am literally the only Filipino here.
Yeah.
In all the scenes.
And here we're at Magic Mike Live, the theater, and you are the first Filipino here, and you broke the mold because now there's 2 Hawaiians too, right?
Yeah, kind of broke the mold. Even in London, we had a friend of mine who's Indonesian. Yeah. He did the London show for a little bit too. So yeah, it's kind of just we're getting out there.
Yeah, and it just takes like that one person to break the seal, as you mentioned, and it just takes that one person to crack that glass ceiling. One day it's gonna be shattered, but we just have to like crack it just a bit.